Hello students. So student, in the previous class in the chapter that is pollution of air and water, we had discussed about that of the water pollution. Okay, so in the water pollution we discussed that what are the different causes of the water pollution. So you see that what are the different causes, students. So domestic sewage is there. So the waste material which comes outside, which comes out from our home, when it without being treated, it will, if it is dumped into the water bodies, ultimately the microbes which is present in it will going to mix in the water. Second one, student, industrial effluents. So you see, if we talk about the industrial effluent, students, so the things, the chemicals, the toxic substances which comes out from that of the industries will also get mixed with the water. Okay, now not only it will affect the quality of the water, but it will also a life-threatening for all the aquatic plants and the animals, since it not only to the aquatic plants and animals but for the all living organism, since it reaches to the food chain and its effect will be higher. Then the third one is the agricultural runoff. So you see, the farmer, for the better development, for a better crop yield, what they used to do, they are to protect their crop from insect and that of the pest, they use different chemical substances like that of the fertilizers or not only the fertilizers but pesticides also. So they use the fertilizers, they use the pesticides, and these all are what? These are the chemicals, and when these chemicals reaches to the soil, it will be absorbed by the soil surface. Okay, and ultimately when it gets absorbed in the soil, it reaches to the water level of the groundwater. Okay, and when it reaches there, it will deteriorate its quality. Now second thing is when it mixes with the water, students, even you see it when it mixes with the water, when it will be consumed by the human being, by the other living organism, it will be a life threat. Then the next thing, students, that not only to the groundwater but most of the time you see that these chemical substances from the soil with the help of the water, so it will run off with water and finally mixes into the water bodies. Okay, so it will reaches to the groundwater, causes eutrophication. Okay, so we had discussed about the term that is eutrophication. What is the meaning of a eutrophication, students? See, due to the presence of these chemicals, this nutrient, it become nutrient rich and help in the growth of the weeds and algae. Now algae and the weeds, they what they used to do, they used to take the oxygen which is present in the water. Okay, and this will reduces the oxygen in the water, and this will make the water oxygen deficient. Okay, so ultimately the aquatic plant, aquatic animals, they are not able to take the oxygen, they are not able to take the dissolved oxygen from the water, and this will leads to the reducing the number of the aquatic living organism in water. Then the fourth one, students, that we had discussed is the oil slicks. Oil slicks, it means leakage of the oil in the water. Oil slicks. So oil slicks means leakage of the water in the oil in the water. Basically, you see, even in the accident or in the boat and ships, so they sometimes it happens that the oil comes out from it. There is a leakage of the oil, and this oil will reaches to the surface of the water, and it will form a layer on the surface of the water, students. So ultimately, it will not going to make the atmospheric oxygen to dissolve in the water. Okay, so as it forms a layer, so the oxygen will be not able to dissolve in it. Ultimately, there will be reduction in the number of the oxygen molecules, or the oxygen dissolved water will be less. So aquatic living organism will be not able to take sufficient amount of oxygen, and this will reduces the number of the aquatic organisms. So these are the different causes of that of the water pollution. We have also discussed that what will be the effect of that, students. Absolutely, it will cause a lot of diseases, waterborne diseases. If you are drinking contaminated water, it will cause the waterborne diseases. Then it will cause the, we can say that it will makes the or it will reduces the number of the aquatic living organism, because a sufficient amount, if the oxygen is not available for the aquatic organism, this will lead to the death of the aquatic living organisms. Then the fourth one, next one, students, that you see that it will degrade the quality of the water. Okay, so these are some of the effect which is caused due to that of the water pollution. Now, what are the different things, what are the different methods by which we can prevent the water pollution? So, better we should make it to undergo for the treatment before releasing it into the water bodies. You know that, students, when we were talking in a case of industrial effluent, so industries, they used to release a lot of chemical substances, and these chemical substances, which is very toxic, mixes into the water. So better, before releasing it into the water, or before releasing this waste material in the water bodies directly, better we should remove it, and after that we can dump it, or we can release the water into the release the industrial water into that of the water bodies. Okay, so proper treatment of the water is very much necessary to avoid such kind of a water pollution. Okay, and we should dispose the garbage in a proper way in the place where it is necessary, rather than throwing it anywhere in the water. Okay, so this will help in reducing the water pollution. So this was all about that of the water pollution, student. Now move to the next one, and that is, okay, we are seeing that water. Okay, what is water? What is the water pollution? What are the different pollutants which are responsible for causing the water pollution? Now, we should know that what kind of a water is good for us. Okay, we are saying that. So you see, students, that water which we use to consume, that water should be free from any kind of germs. It should be free from any kind of a microorganism or that of the waste material, because this will cause a severe disease. This will harm to us, not only to us but to the other living organism. So the water, it should be pure, it should be safe for drinking, and such kind of a water which we used to take for drinking purpose, for cooking our food, and free from any kind of a microorganism, such kind of a water is known as a potable water. Okay, so we can write it. The definition of water is potable water is, that is, water suitable for drinking, the water which is suitable for drinking by human being, is called as potable water. Okay, so whenever the question is asked that what do you understand by the potable water, student, you will always write that water which is good for us, which we can drink it, which is pure and which is safe for drinking, that water is known as a potable water. That is why the term is written here suitable. Suitable means water which will not going to harm us. So we can say that kind of a water is a potable water. So we can say that what kind of a water we should take, students. So basically you see that when we talk, if we go before that the water we used to take. So water, it should be free from any kind of a germs. It's free from any kind of a microorganism. Now, and it should be pure also. It should means it should look good also. That so okay. If we see the water, if it is means if we see it and we find that okay, this water is a clear one, it seems clear, but actually it is not necessary that if it is a if its physical characteristic is okay, or if physically if it is okay, then biologically also it will be okay. No. It means that chances is there that the water which you are drinking, which seems good for you, actually may consisting of germs, may consisting of a microorganism or other kind of chemicals in it, which will going to harm any of the living organism that will consume that water. So we can say that water which we are taking should be free from any harmful germs and chemicals. Okay, it should be free from any kind of germs and chemicals. And now you see, student, if suppose you are seeing a water, if it is visibly, it is clear, it does not mean that it is free from any kind of a chemical or microorganism. So we have to we can say that the water should not be only means look clear, but it should be free from any kind of a chemical and germs. So we can say that there are some properties, and such water which is safe, which is pure, which is free from any kind of a microorganism is known as a potable. But in a very simple language, if anybody asks to you that what do you understand by the potable water, you will always say that a water which is suitable for us and which is suitable for drinking, that is known as a potable water. Now there are some properties of that of a potable water, students. So let us discuss about the properties. You can write it. Potable water has some properties. Okay? Potable water has some properties. What are these properties, students? So first thing, it should look good. Okay? Now, what is the nature of the water? What is the color of the water? What is the smell of the water? Everything should be perfect. Okay, then only we can say, okay, but if it is looking good, if it is not having any kind of a color and all, then we can say that it is good for us. Okay, then only we will get that confidence to drink that water also. You can compare the water from your home to somewhere else. That if you find that any change is there, if the smell is there, then you are not going to take it. You are not going to consume it. So the first thing is that it should be good. Means it should look good. It means it is transparent, because there is no color of the water. So that is why we can say it should be colorless. As well as you are knowing about it that when you smell water, did you find any kind of a odor? Did you find any kind of a smell coming out from the water? No. So such kind of a water, or we can say the water, actual water does not have any kind of a smell. So we can say that water is not only colorless, but it is odorless. Okay, so it is transparent. it is transparent, it is colorless, and it is odorless. Okay, transparent is there, colorless is there, and odorless is there. Okay, now not only this, we are saying that it should be free from any kind of chemicals, but it should be consisting of a sufficient amount of a dissolved oxygen and other minerals in it. Okay, so we can say that it should contains sufficient amount of dissolved oxygen and other salts. Okay, so you see students that it should contain a sufficient amount of a dissolved oxygen and salts. You know that the water basically provides a sufficient amount of minerals. So minerals should be there. Minerals, it means we are talking about the salt. So it should consisting of a proper amount of a dissolved oxygen should be there. It is not necessary only for the human but also good for the aquatic living organisms. So we can say that it should consisting of a sufficient amount of oxygen as well as salts as well as other minerals in it. So this is the second one. First is the transparency should be there. It should be colorless and odorless. Let me write the other property here itself. So the third property it is free from harmful chemicals and it is free from harmful chemicals and microorganisms. Okay, so this is the third property, that it should be free from any kind of a harmful chemical and that of the microorganism. So these are some of the properties of the potable water, the water which is suitable for us, the water which we can drink, which we can consume. The first property, it explains student that it should be transparent, it should be colorless and odorless, which is a property of a water, which is a nature. Means if you look at the water, it is transparent, it is clean, and clean it means it is colorless and it does not have any kind of a smell. So we can say it is odorless. Okay, so if it is having this property, then we can say that it looks good, physically it is okay. Now not only this, it should not consisting of a chemicals in it, it should not consisting of a microorganism in it. So harmful chemicals or a toxic chemical substances and the microorganism, these are not good for us. So it should not consisting of all the things in it. Next one is that it contains sufficient amount of a dissolved oxygen and salt. Not only this, students, water should not be like it a distilled one, means does not consisting of any salt or does not consisting of any minerals in it, but it must consist of a sufficient amount of a dissolved oxygen and other salts in it. Okay, so if it is having all these properties, students, we will say that this water is suitable for drinking, it is good for us, and that is why this property totally says about that of a potable water. Okay, properties, these are suitable for drinking, properties suitable for the water so that we can drink and we can use for the other purpose like cooking also. Okay, so this is all about that of the potable water. Now whenever we say student potable water, it means it must have these properties. Okay, only then we are able to consume it, only then we are able to take it. Okay, now water is getting polluted day by day and we are saying that we should not we should not release the water directly into the water bodies. Instead of that, we should treat it well. Now not only that, students, you are knowing that the water which is coming from the river, which is coming from the lakes or the ponds to your houses, okay, or the water which is coming from that of any of the water bodies to your house, you do not take it directly. It does not come directly from the river to your house, but it undergoes some process and only then it will reaches to you. That process is what? That is purifying the water. Purifying the water, it means working on its color, working on the chemicals dissolved in it, working on the microorganism which is present in it. So after removal of all these harmful substances from the water, only then water reaches to the respective houses, water reaches to the different houses of the person. It means it is very necessary that we should if we are taking the water, it should be purified well. It must be treated well, and only then we are able to consume. Otherwise, it will cause a lot of disease to us. So before consuming water, what we used to do, we used to purify the water. Okay, so we can say that there are a lot of steps involved in the purification of the water. Now let us discuss about it. Purification of water. Purification of water. So we can say that water which we get from a different sources, water which we get from the different sources, various sources which we get from the various sources, consisting of microorganisms. It consisting of microorganisms and other chemical substances. Okay. And this needs to be purified. Okay. So we can say that this needs to be purified before consuming it. Okay. Okay, before using it for drinking purpose, for drinking and other domestic purpose. Okay, and the process in which we are purifying the water by making it to undergo different levels of purification, that is known as the process. The whole process is known as the purification of the water. Okay, so we can say that water which we get from the various sources consisting of chemicals, and we should purify it, and the process is known as a purification of water. So the process is known as water purification. Water purification. Okay. Water purification is the process of the fit water, making of water fit for us to consume and to use it for the other domestic needs. Okay. So now let us discuss the various process which is involved in the purification of the water. Okay. Now you see, students. So you see, students, if we talk about the purification of the water, so basically the purification of the water occurs especially for the public distribution. Okay. So we can write it that purification of water for public distribution. Okay. Purification of water for public distribution. Okay, what is the meaning of this public distribution, students? So you see, the water which reaches to the public, the water which reaches to your or our home, that is the public distribution. Okay. Now you see that how water reaches to your home, students. So you will say from tap. Okay, so tap of your home, of your houses, they used to take the water from the various sources. And what will be the various sources, students? Actually, there are lot of pipelines, or we can say that there is a distribution system of the pipelines from one house to the other house, and these pipelines together it get mixed, you can say that it will meet at a point and form a bigger pipe, and finally the water will come and go through the two different distribution system of the water pipelines. Okay, now who manage this water pipeline, students? So municipal corporation is responsible, municipality is responsible for the for managing this distribution system of the pipeline. Okay, so we can say that it is the responsibility of the municipal body. It is the responsibility of the municipal bodies to collect water as well as from where? Collect water from various sources. These sources, students, you see that these sources can be houses, collection of the wastewater, it will go from the another kind of a pipe, and then the water that from the water bottles. Okay, so we can say that the responsibility of the municipal bodies is to collect water from the various sources and send it for the water treatment plant for the purification. So here the various sources is what that can be house, that can be offices, students. So from different sources the water is collected and sent into water treatment plants. Okay, so send it to the water treatment plants. For what, student? For purification. Okay, and we can say for purification. Okay, so it is sent to the water treatment plant where this water get purified. It undergo the process of a purification, and now this purified water is ready for consumption. We can say that since it becomes free from any kind of a germs, microorganism or a chemical substances, yes, it is ready. So we can say that it will go for the purification, and then this purified water is ready for human consumption. Okay, so we can write it here, and it is ready for, we can write it here, that it is ready for human consumption. Okay, so we can say that first of all it will goes to the water treatment plant, and where it will be purified, and after that this purified water is ready for the human consumption. Now you see, student, the purification of the water, it occurs in a various process. It occurred in different steps. So we will discuss now that what are the different steps, because the wastewater from the different sources, it will goes to the for purifying in the water treatment plant, where the water get treated, where the water get purified, and finally this purified water again it will goes to the different houses from a different pipeline systems, and then it is able, we can say that it will be good for the human being to consume. Okay, so different steps are there, different processes are there, students, which is involved in that of the purification of the water. So first of all, we can say that the water is collected from that of the river, water is collected from the lake, and then it is made to stand, made to settle in a tank. So here, if you are settling, if you are making a water to be there, to still there without disturbing it, that process is known as a sedimentation. We are knowing about it from the chapter, that is the separation of substances. And the tank in which the water is kept for a period of a time, such tank is known as a sedimentation tank. So water, first of all, we are taking the water from the river, from the lake, and from there this water will be kept in a tank still without disturbing it, keeping it left undisturbed for some times, and that tank is known as a sedimentation tank. Okay, so we'll discuss about the different process one by one.